Welcome to Balanced Body and Beyond. My name is Elise, and today we are going to have an extraordinary yoga practice because not only will you need your mat, but I am going to ask that you align your mat to a wall. So as you get set up, we're going to use this wall to help us with our postures, some really deep stretches, and support through our exercises. So without further ado, find a spot that you can roll out your mat and access a wall. Now, we're going to begin laying on our backs with our legs up the wall. So the best way to set up for that is to lay side onto the wall like this, and then lean back and flip your legs up. And that will just help get your hips as close to the wall as you can. Now, if you have a better way of doing it, by all means, go ahead and do it. But this is the way I'm going to set up. So I'm going to lean back. My hips are already close to the wall, and voila. So this is going to mimic legs up a wall pose. If you have tight hamstrings, you may need to inch yourself farther away from the wall. But if you're good to go here, we're going to join our feet together. Flex your feet to really get the best stretch, and let your arms rest either alongside your body, out wide, wherever they can be most relaxed. I'm going to invite you to shut your eyes and begin inhaling and exhaling through your nostrils. Now, this is certainly a posture that you could do every day, and it helps promote great circulation, helps release the hamstrings, and it really feels good, helps cleanse our lymphatic system, slows down our heart rate, getting our legs above our heart. Now, we can't stay here our whole practice, but we are going to stay here for just a little bit longer to decompress, to lengthen the hamstrings, and find your yoga breath. Now I just relaxed my feet a little bit, wiggling my toes. And remember this posture because you can repeat it at any point. We're just going to grab behind our left leg and slowly pull that left knee into the chest. And then try that on the other side. Pull your right knee into your chest. Good. We'll do that a few more times. Little knee flexion and extension. Good. All right, and then we're going to do a reclined butterfly pose. So you're going to bring the soles of your feet together, a little hip opener here, and just gently put some pressure on the inside of the legs. And then you could release, and then gently put some pressure on the inside of the legs. And then release. You can have your eyes shut, you can have your eyes open, you can listen to my voice. Now let's keep some pressure on and just hold here. Good. You might tuck your chin in, stretch your spine, push your shoulder blades together. Let your hips rest heavily into the mat, and just enjoy that stretch. Join your knees together, straighten your legs out, and we're going to do leg slides from here. Arms are going to come back towards the floor, and you're going to take your left leg and go ahead and let it slide down towards the floor. Now, your leg may get to the floor, it may not. Come on up, and then switch. Now, I do have a windowsill here that's kind of blocking me a little bit, but I'm going to gently pull away from that windowsill. Alternating legs. And with every repetition, you might find your leg gets a little closer to the floor. Now, I am going to encourage you to flex your foot and pull your toes towards your nose, because as the leg moves, the foot might rotate to a place where it hinders the full stretch, right? Only because your body thinks it's easier to turn your foot a certain way. But see if you can just keep your foot flexed, pointing your toes to your nose. Good. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. Hopefully in this practice, you will get lots and lots of great ideas ways you can use a wall to help you in your practice. And even though we're not going to use a wall in all our practices, if you set your mat up near a wall, you can use it in the future during the practice. We'll try one more leg slide. All right, so we did a lot of single leg. See if you can do double leg. Ooh, so this is a great way to start working your splits. You can just take your legs in a straddle. You can hold there. Oh my gosh, that's a great stretch. And then pull back together. So try taking it out wide. You can hold, flex your feet. Yeah, just have some freedom. You might end up just keeping your legs wide and staying wide. How wide can you go? Ooh, you like that, huh? All right, legs come together. Now I'm gonna go ahead and inch my body a little farther from the wall, like an inchworm, because I am going to set up for some bridges. Now don't go too far away from the wall. You wanna go far enough that your knees are over your hips. Good? And then from here, we're gonna slowly lift our hips up. So we got a bridge, hips up, hips down. Now, every now and then I will have folks, when they do this bridge pose, it bothers the back of their shoulders. So by all means, if you don't like having your feet on the wall during bridge, you can keep your feet on the floor in our traditional fashion. Good. But wall bridges are kind of nice, kind of different. Access the body a little different. Now my heels are pulling off the wall a little bit. Yours might as well. Your feet may stay flat. Spread your toes. So let's come up and hold this time. Good. And then we're going to pull one knee into the chest and then switch. So alternating knee to chest. We did this right when our legs were straight up on the wall. Now we're doing it from bridge. Someone comes home and finds footprints on your wall, you'll have some explaining to do. Now, as with all our yoga practices, there are thousands of variations here. I'm just giving you a snippet here in this particular practice, but I encourage you to be creative on your own. And if you find a really cool exercise that you know you can do from the wall, feel free to share it with me. I would love to hear from you. Okay, both feet on the wall and slowly lower the hips down. Awesome. All right, we're gonna go ahead and sit up and roll over. We're gonna take child's pose, and I'm gonna give you our traditional child's pose here, pushing your hips back to your feet, lengthening out your spine, opening your shoulders. And then we'll rock the hips front to back, loosening up through your hips and shoulders, very familiar place. We're gonna get back on that wall, but for now, just some hip rocks. And then glide yourself back into tabletop. We're gonna extend our left leg out. Now, see if you can get your foot to come to the wall. If you do, then we're gonna just try to align ourselves that our bottom knee is directly under our hips. And if you look back, your foot is pointing toe down and your heel should be at hip height. So let's see if we can then just put a little pressure into the elevated foot, pushing it into the wall. Now that wall is gonna act to help activate our core muscles even more, give us great form, and then we'll extend our arm. Good. So holding bird dog. Now we're not adding any movement, but there is a lot happening here as we push our foot into the wall and we reach out with our arm. Draw your belly in and hang on. I'm beginning to tremble a little bit. Are you? All right, let's try it on the other side. Extend your other leg, should be your right. And just make sure, again, you're aligned appropriately with your bottom knee under your hip and the elevated leg at spinal height with toe down. Draw your belly in and then extend the opposite arm as you reach out to shake somebody's hand. Good. So I'm pushing the mat away from me with my bottom hand and leg. And then I'm reaching with my elevated arm and pushing my foot into the wall. So much happening here. We haven't added any movement, but just holding this. Awesome. All 4 points down. We're going to do the same idea, but we're going to spin ourselves around and face the wall. And instead of our foot pushing into the wall, it's going to be our hand. So let's make a fist and take our right fist into the wall. Same alignment. Good. So same idea. You're pushing your fist into the wall. I'm going to lower mine down a little bit. You want to feel your bicep right next to your ear, and you want a straight arm. And as you push into the wall, you press the elevated foot as far from the body as you can, and you push down with the grounded hand and leg. Draw your belly in, lift up out of your joints, and feel the activation at work. So amazing. Try it on the other side. Fist, straight arm, bicep by ear. Yeah, if you have to move yourself a little bit, go ahead and do so. Get yourself situated. Straight leg, straight arm. This will really, really clean up your poses. Give yourself a greater awareness of where your body is in space. Good. Hands and knees down. So we're just going to add a little bit of movement into this. You're going to do alternate. Push, down, push, down. Good. Now, I understand we're working on from our knees for a bit here. So if you need any extra cushioning on your knees, go ahead and grab that. Good. All 4 points down. We're going to take another child's pose. Take your knees out wide. Push your hips back and let your hips rest in the bottoms of your feet. Big breaths. Awesome. And gliding your body weight forward. We're going to reset bird dog, and we're going to add a little movement into bird dog. Extend your right arm once again and your left leg. And we're going to cross. Tap and tap. Now try to lift your leg to spinal height. Keep pushing your fist into the wall. Stay balanced. And move that leg side to side. Now, as you push your fist into the wall, again, it's just going to create more stability within your body and hopefully get you a bigger movement from the leg. Hold still, and let's switch sides. Long arm extension, tuck your chin in and pull it up, and then we'll move the leg. Our head's in alignment with our spine. Very clear sense of awareness where our body is in space. We have lots of targets to work here. We're targeting toe to floor, targeting hand to wall. And big breaths. Lift and hold. Awesome. Hands and knees down. I'm getting warm. I don't know about you. We're going to swing around and we are going to set our hips now onto the mat and lean against the wall. So if you think about it, when we started, our back was on the wall and our legs were up here, right? So now we've just reversed it. We still have that 90-degree hinge through our hip, but our stretch is going to feel different. But the wall definitely helps keep our back straight. So for a lot of folks, sitting upright like this is a huge challenge. So if you're struggling with this, please know you're not alone, okay? And then from here, we'll see if we can take our arms overhead. Big reach, and then hands can come back down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, arms down. Lots of incredible stretching happening here. I love it. One more. And now we're going to bring our hands in front of our chest, palms together, and we'll fly those arms out. Straight arms, the back of your hand touches the wall, and close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Okay, open and hold. Now think about what we did with our legs on the wall. Same thing with the arms. We're going to bring the arms overhead so you can keep your fingertips in contact with the wall. And then you can come down as far to the floor as your shoulders enable you. So run your fingertips up the wall. Exhale, down the wall. Good. Yep, I'm just making the best of my situation with the windowsill being here. We can't always have the perfect space, the perfect environment, but we adjust and modify. And hopefully you feel that through the back of the shoulder. Great range of motion for the shoulders, expansion of your chest, and your hamstrings are probably feeling this as well. One more. And arms come down. Ah, very good. All right, let's spin ourselves back onto our hands and knees. And we're going to set ourselves up for our downward dog. So shoulders under or over your wrists and then straight legs. All right, so from here, we have ourselves in a plank and we're going to shift our hips up and back. Traditional down dog, but we're going to move a little bit, rocking front to back. Awesome. We're going to hold downward dog. Now, if you didn't, if you were struggling with downward dog there and to plank, you know you could always work from your knees. A little late on the cueing, but if you've done enough of my practices, you know you could have done that. We're going to move our feet forward, holding our forward folds. And slowly roll up one vertebrae at a time. Now that we're on our feet, we're going to turn and face the wall, and time for the hands to come to the wall. We're going to walk our feet back and then start walking our hands down to the wall till our hands come to about shoulder height. And as you see, my hips are moving back. So now I am mimicking once again that 90-degree bend through the hips. So we've taken this posture from laying on our back to sitting down to a standing position, but is essentially this hip hinge that we have been continuing with. From here, you're going to bring one hand down, tap your leg, come up, and then switch. Yeah, if you need to bend your knees a little bit, you can. Spread your toes wide, ground down with your feet. Now my feet are right beneath my hips. Right, and my arms are coming up alongside my head the best I can. Whew. Hold here. Awesome. And slowly walk yourself to the wall. And we are going to turn, slide onto the wall, and now do big arm circles. Now, as you see, my whole body just kind of moved a little bit. So you want to try to stay as close to the wall and not get that rotation. But if you're getting a lot of that rotation, just inch yourself a little farther from the wall. And you'll notice the farther you are from the wall, right, it allows that shoulder to move a little more freely and you won't get that rotation. Try changing directions. Good. Some of you might find you're all the way out here, and that's what helps keep your hips still. It's all good, wherever you need to be. But that wall is not going to let you cheat, most importantly. And what we do on one side, you know, we always get on the other. So let's turn around, pick a direction, find your space. Big arm circles, standing upright. Right, so on this side, maybe you inch a little closer or whatever you need to do. But incorporating that big arm circle, I feel my hips turning. I'm gonna stay a little farther away from the wall, see what I can do on this side. You can try tucking your tailbone under, strong through your pelvis to keep your hips still. Good. All right, we're gonna face the wall. Ooh, can you get your nose to touch the wall? And then we're gonna do both arms up and over. So earlier when we were sitting down, we had our back to the wall. Now we have our front to the wall. And we'll just take these arm circles, half circles, if you will, running your arms up and down. Lots of great work for your shoulders. Well done. Good. Now we are going to use the wall as a tool for balance. We're going to set our hand. Let's all do our left hand. And then like we were in a side plank, this is an exercise I'll do in a side plank form often. We're going to lift our leg, but we are leaning into the wall, arm overhead. We're going to go elbow to knee. Good. So a little side crunch here. Opening up our hips. And maybe you come farther off the wall. Maybe you come closer to the wall. All right, now, so you can do straight arm, straight leg. Reach toward your foot. Send your leg back. Reach and back. So a little more exercise here before we get into more traditional postures. Some active movement to loosen up. Good, one more. And then we'll come off the wall and try it on the other side. Step away, extend your arm and leg, hip open, side crunch. Exhale and inhale. We've done lots of reaching with the arms, working that big stretch. Good. All right, now let's try straightening the arm and leg. So reach. Now the toes and fingertips don't need to touch each other. That's it. So remember, when we're doing side planks and we're working on the floor, you can take side plank standing and put your hand on a wall. Couple more. Ooh, good stuff. Hold here, and then let's stand up. Coming to the top of the mat, inhale, lift. Let's just do a little flow here. Exhale, chair pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, chair pose. A few more, building some energy. Working through. Arms up and hold. Let's take a swan dive down. And holding this forward fold. Now we have done a lot of forward folds. So right now, you should have a really nice stretch here in your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And then as we fold, we're going to send both feet back into your high plank. Good. Chest comes down. Lift your chest for cobra. Maybe up dog. And downward dog. Feet move forward. Inhale, half lift. Fold, and we're going to move right into chair pose. Good. Sun salutation. Inhale, lift. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Step both feet back. Chest lowers down. Cobra or up dog. Down dog. Feet move forward. Inhale, half lift. As you fold, we move into chair pose. You got that? We're gonna do one more. Inhale, lift. Full body movement. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Send both feet back. Lower your body down all the way. Point your toes for cobra or up dog. Down dog. Some of you might be jumping your feet forward. I'm going to choose to walk my feet forward. Half lift. Fold. Chair pose. Well done. All right, generated some more warmth there. Exhale, fold down. Step your left leg back. We're going to settle into our low lunge. Very nice. And then from this low lunge, we're going to put our back knee down and bring our arms up. Fingers at temples. We're going to take our left elbow to the inside of our right leg, twist, and then come up. Yep. Very good. Stack the elbows. Rotate from the waist. Center. Inhale, lift. Fingertips reach to the ceiling. Lean back. Open your heart space. Exhale, hands down. Straighten your back leg. Now we're moving a little quicker. I know, pyramid pose. You're going to push off your back foot. Join both feet together. Lift halfway up. And then as we fold, that left leg goes back behind us. Long stride. Settle into your lunge. Back knee comes down. Inhale, lift up. Fingers at temples. And we'll take our elbow to the inside of the leg, twisting, stacking elbows. Inhale up. Awesome. Feel that rotation through your spine. One more, one more. Inhale, up and hold. Arms up, gaze to ceiling, lean back. Hands come down. Tuck the toes under, come into pyramid pose. Bring the forehead to your front knee. Yeah, that was a change in energy. Bend your knees a little bit, push off your back foot, feet together. Inhale, half lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold and reverse swan dive. Arms come up. Now, arms are going to stay overhead. We're going to walk backwards to find our wall. And to take our side stretch, palms together, point our fingers to the ceiling. And I want you to see and get those arms all the way up. Now I feel backs of my thumbs touching the wall. Side stretch. So we're going to use that wall as a guide to keep our arms lifted. Big, deep side stretch. Center and switch. Oop, my hands came off the wall. Did yours? Let's try that one more time. Each side, try to keep those fingers close to the wall as you can. Straight arms as best you can. You can move your head a little bit, either direction. Switch. Try not to arch your back. Ooh, that's phenomenal. All right, we're going to set up triangle pose, but we're going to use the wall so we get our best posture. You'll straddle your mat. Now, you could turn your mat long ways if you want your feet on the mat. I'm just going to keep my feet off the mat for this purpose now, unless I start sliding on my floor, which I guess is possible. My left toes are pointing directly away from me. My back foot is pointing to the side. Okay, so once we get our feet aligned, arms are going to go wide. Reach and run your arms down the wall and the other arm up the wall. And then see if you can set your triangle from here. Good. Now maybe you're here. That might be where you're at. If you have a ledge, you can rest your hand on the ledge. Okay. But the idea here is to keep both shoulders and both hips as close to the wall as you can. And we're going to come out of triangle slowly and move into warrior two. Our feet position should not change, but what I'm feeling is I want my feet to be a little bit wider, a little farther apart. So I'm going to inch them a little farther apart. Good. And then holding warrior one, try to get both shoulders as close to the wall as you can. Tuck your tailbone under. You can flip your back hand palm up, but a great sense of awareness where you are in warrior two. Did I say warrior one? I meant warrior two. Can you bend a little bit deeper? 90-degree bend in that knee. And notice, where's that knee? It should be close to the wall. It's not buckling in. You can actively push that knee into the wall. That is something else. All right, so let's try triangle facing the other way. Turn your feet. They go opposite. Arms gonna go wide. Reach and side hinge down. Now, do you feel your shoulders in contact with the wall, close to the wall? You feel this hip pushing against the wall. Slowly rise. We'll set up warrior two. Bend your front knee, or whichever way you're facing. Reach with the arms, palm up. Now, I noticed too that this bent knee was starting to buckle away. So realign, breathe, right? You're getting into deeper postures. It can get quite intense. Phenomenal job. I love this. All right, straighten yourself out. We're going to practice warrior one. And the purpose of using the wall for warrior one is to bring more awareness to how much bend do we have in the front leg. So I'm going to put my toe as close to the wall as I can, and then I'll send my other foot back. Now there's a little pivot. Now, what a lot of people do is they'll straighten this leg and they won't get that full bend. So now, because that wall's there, we're going to have an awareness of looking at this knee, trying to get our knee as close to the wall. Now, it's not going to touch the wall. You don't want it to touch the wall, but you don't want much space. Maybe just a couple inches between your knee and the wall. Having an awareness that our hips are square and our belly button is pointing straight to the wall. Arms come up, and that is just a huge posture. And we stay in it. We relax the shoulders, arms straight. We've done lots of reaching with the arms, so hopefully these arms are set strong for warrior one. I feel that. I'm thinking you probably feel that. Ooh, all right, let's try it on the other side. So line your big toe as close to the wall as you can. Step your other leg back, flat. Push the back edge of your foot into the mat, and then start bending that front knee. How close can you get to the wall? Maybe you pull your back foot in a little bit more, and that makes it more achievable for you. But you figure that out. You feel the load. And we have warrior one with a little help from the wall, just giving us a greater awareness of our body positioning. All right, straighten up. We're going to do one more pose before we cool down, and that's going to be warrior three. We're going to do it two different ways with the wall. First, we're going to put our hands on the wall. So here, we'll place our hands on the wall like we did earlier, with your hands about shoulder height. And you're going to set up that boxy position, right? Maybe walk your hands down. So we know this. Simply lift one leg. I'll pick up my right leg first. Now, when we did bird dog, we did something similar, right? If you're too close to the wall, step back farther, drop your hip down a little bit. Good. But using this wall, we can put more attention into the leg placement. Good. Maybe you take one arm back. You can do airplane with one arm. Now you kind of look like you're in bird dog position, right? Stand. Let's try it on the other side. First, start with your both hands on the wall. Get into that hinged position. And then lift your leg. And drop your hip down a little to square off the hips. Oh, so much hamstring stretching today. So good for us. Can you take one hand down? Maybe set the arm in like an airplane. Ooh, all right, come on up. We're gonna take our backs to the wall. We're gonna do warrior three again, but with our foot on the wall. So, like we did in bird dog, toe points down, leg at spinal height, and it may take a couple adjustments to find that appropriate place. Good. Hinge forward, find the crease in your hip. Your arms still go out wide. Now my back knee is going to bend a little bit as I get situated. Ooh, that is difficult, but amazing at the same time. And if it doesn't feel quite right, just readjust and try it again. You can always take your arms back, airplane arms. That's a little bit easier. That front reach in warrior three challenges our shoulder girdle for sure. All right, let's try it on the other side. I'm going to step my foot a little farther away because I was probably a little too close to the wall on that one. So let's find the wall. Arms reach. Now, interestingly enough, with this foot is probably too far forward, but it certainly makes my reach more comfortable. I'm not saying that's right, just saying I feel that change, so I'm going to make it a little better. And that's what this is about. We're practicing yoga practice, find our place, talk our way through. See if you can send your arms back. Holy moly. Game changer, right? Stretch it all out. Oh my gosh, I hope you've gotten some great ideas during today's practice. Let's go ahead and have a seat. And since it is wall yoga, let's sit against the wall. But we'll sit with our legs crossed. Good. Now, so you can get your hips real close, your spine real long. Whew. And we'll drop our head to the side. Let our heart rates come down. Let your legs relax. Now, even when this practice ends, if you want to stay on the mat and do some of the work we did at the start, turn your head to the other side. Yeah, you can lean against the wall. I'm leaning against the wall. It's okay. But use the wall to help with posture. Good. Lift your head. Nod no, side to side. All right, we'll take a seated spinal twist. You'll take your legs out, and then we'll take our right leg up and over. So as you grab your right leg, wrap your left arm around and look over your shoulder. Again, use this wall to keep your body lengthened. Good. And switch. Now, there's so many stretches that we did not access today. So many more postures we could have done, but only so much time in the video, right? I thank you for joining me today. Give me a shout out. Let me know what you like, maybe what you want to see more of, some more ideas. I'd love to hear from you. Good. And then we'll extend both legs. Come on off your mat. Give yourself a pat on the back. I should say come off the wall, not off your mat. Give yourself a pat on the back. Remember, hit like, hit subscribe, watch more videos, practice more, create the best version of you can. And I'll see you next time on Balanced Body and Beyond. Have a great day.